Hi, my name is Cédric Champeau. I work at Gradle in the engineering team, and today I'm going to demonstrate a feature of Gradle 6.7 called the Java toolchains. What I'm going to use is a simple test project which has a single library, and this is the build file for this library. It's quite simple. It only has a dependency on JUnit Jupyter, so JUnit 5, and we're going to show the actual test case that I'm going to run. And this test case is testing a class that I wrote called JVM_info, and what it accepts in the end is only that the return Java version should be 15. So let's look at the implementation of this JVM_info class. Here we go. So this class is actually reading this system property, which is set by the JVM itself. So whatever version of the JVM is used to execute my tests is going to be the version which is returned by this class. So when I'm going to run this without any tweak to the build file, then what is going to happen? What we see is that it fails because I expected 15, but what we got is 11. And why is this that we got this 11? If I open this build scan in the end, what I can see in this infrastructure tab is that we have here the Java runtime. This is actually the Java runtime which is used by Gradle itself. And what we see is that I am using 11 locally. By using Java 11 and saying nothing in my build script, the Java version that is going to be used for compilation tasks and executing the test is actually going to be the version that Gradle uses itself. So because I didn't say anything and that my Gradle is executed with Java 11, my test and my production classes are going to be compiled and executed using 11. So no wonder that this test is actually failing because I'm not actually using the right version of the JVM. So in the past, what most people did in this case was to actually change their requirements on the build system itself, saying that if their library needed Java 15, then they would need the build tool to run on 15 itself. In Gradle 6.7, we changed that and we make it much easier to actually declare your requirements. So how do we do that? I'm just going to open this build script again, and in this library, I'm going to use a new block there. This Java toolchain block is going to say, for this project, I'm going to use Java version 15. By doing that and running my tests again, Gradle is actually going to use Java 15 as the JVM to run the test. But what we also can see, if we open this actually build scan and look at the timeline, is that the compiled Java task was also re-executed because we also recompiled everything using Java 15. So by default now, just setting this language version, everything was compiled using 15 and everything was executed using Java 15. However, something happened under the hood there. So Gradle itself is still using 11, the tests are using 15, but there was something more happening. In particular, if you look at this .gradle.jdks directory, this is where Java 15 was found. If I actually remove this directory and execute the build again, then we're going to see something interesting. Gradle is actually starting to download this JDK. So why is it doing so? Well, Gradle actually looks at some conventional places to locate for JDKs. So it would look at the typical locations under Linux, macOS, Windows. It also looks for package managers like SDKman, Java, etc., etc. So it has a number of places where it would look by default, and if it doesn't find anything, it's going to download the JDK automatically for the Adopt OpenJDK website. You can actually tweak that. You don't have to do it. You can actually disable the auto download, and you can rely on system properties. You can rely on environment variables to tell Gradle where to look for the different JDKs. So it's extremely convenient for CI configurations. That's all I had today. Thank you for listening.